the senators in a new pecking order proposed in the bill, something that governors seem to have a big problem with. And joining me in studio right now is Wajir Governor Ahmed Abdullahi. Thank you very much for joining us, sir.
Thank you for having me.
All right, the story we'll just see in a short while. I mean, what's the big deal with who has what title, who can have a national flag where? Is there really a big deal on that?
I do not think so, but I think it's a question of the motive. I think these are side issues. There was an exercise that was done by the SRC prior to the elections that clarified a lot of these things in terms of, not so much hierarchy, but the responsibility levels for everyone. Mm-hmm. And what seems to be happening is that the legislative arm seems to be, using its legislative, powers, to sort of invert the pyramid, as it were. Mm-hmm. And I think at a time when county governments are setting up and governors are grappling with issues of setting up their structures and taking off the ground, it is an unnecessary diversionary, thing to have all these protocol and hierarchy contests between senators and governors, senators and MPs. I think people are trying to change, the law and sort of expand their sphere of influence and power, without regard to what it really ought to be in law.
So is there a drift, in terms of the governors who are advocating for it and others who are not, or is it like they are in unison spearheading this?
I do not think that we've taken a position as a Council of Governors on this. There are more other important issues to deal with, but our concern is that instead of Senate legislating to strengthen, the county governments, they seem to be engaging in sideshows as far as we're concerned. The issue of flags. Mm. I mean, no governor went into a shop to buy a flag. That was a transitional arrangement that was, I'm sure, thought of beforehand, and governors were sworn in and given the flags to fly. I think we shouldn't really be spending a lot of time on this. Mm-hmm. There are other issues to be dealt with, but we see a lot more of legislative power being used to curtail devolution, and undermining the authority of governors in the counties is part of that. There's also the issue of the County Development Board, which was, in our view, Senate trying to claw back executive power from governors in a way that is not consultative, without the input of governors.
All right. Now, in essence, the senators and governors should be working together for the good of these counties. At what point will we see both sections coming together for the counties?
I think a lot of governors and senators work together in a very good way, in a harmonious way, in their counties. But what seems to be happening with respect to this institutional fight is maybe a couple of senators who have issues with their governors will bring the issue, and there's a little bit of birds of a feather flocking together sort of thing. Mm-hmm. But I don't think that there is a major issue really between senators and governors in most of the counties. Of course, these are also determined by things that happened in a way, who campaigned against who or who campaigned mm-hmm. for who in some of the counties. Mm-hmm. We see that coming into play, and personality issues.
Okay.
Right. Some people play personal rivalry in a way that might not be conducive, but long and short of it is that senators and governors need to work together. Mm-hmm. Governors and their MPs need to work together, and governors and their county assembly members also need to work together, and the county governments also need to work with the national government and resolve issues in amicable ways, so that we can make progress.
Let's talk about more pressing issues apart from all these sideshows we're seeing. The counties have not yet submitted their revised budgets to the Controller of Budget yet. What is that all about?
you remember initially there was the issue of how hurriedly these budgets were prepared by most of the counties, and the control of budgets raised issues with respect to the huge deficits in some of the budgets. And ideally, as long as the budget deficit is explainable, it shouldn't be an issue. But subsequent to the issues raised by the controller, we decided that for this first year, because we had so many other issues, especially all these side issues being raised, we would want to zeroize our deficits and eliminate them. You know, every county was required to sort of do that. And a lot of counties, actually did that. What we did as a Council of Governors, especially my Committee on Finance, working with the CRA and the CIC and the Treasury, constituted a team to help counties make corrections to the budgets.
Okay.
And as of now, to the best of my knowledge, all counties did that. But what has happened in some of the counties is that the assemblies went on, strike, as it were, or recess.
Yes.
Whereas some, came back purposely to see through this agenda. Others have not. So the governors have done their bit, but they're having problems with assemblies, and the controller is raising that.
Right.
I do not think it should constitute a crisis, though, because supplementary budgets can be passed anytime. And I don't think it's right for the controller to say she's withholding money on account of the revisions not being made, while knowing that most of these assemblies are on recess for issues that are really way out of the influence or what can be controlled by governors.
All right. Thank you very much, Ahmed.